Microsoft had everything it needed to dominate the AI race. They had an exclusive partnership with OpenAI, one of the world's largest cloud platforms, and hundreds of millions of customers already using its software every day. So Microsoft began forcing Copilot into nearly everything, from Windows and Excel to Outlook and Teams. But instead of becoming an essential AI assistant, Copilot became expensive, confusing, and widely disliked. Tragic sales figures and scathing reviews have caused Microsoft's stock to plummet. So how did we go from Microsoft to Microslop? And is there any way for Copilot to become a successful product? Let's get right into it. Although most people first heard about generative AI in 2022 when ChatGPT launched, Microsoft had been involved much earlier. Microsoft invested $1 billion into OpenAI in 2019, and invested a further $10 billion in 2023. These investments were largely in the form of Azure credits. These credits allowed OpenAI to run its LLMs on Microsoft's massive cloud network. Due to its massive investment, Microsoft had a strong interest in making sure that ChatGPT grew rapidly. Not only did they want to fund an upcoming AI giant, Microsoft also wanted to take market share for itself. So, in early 2023, Microsoft launched Copilot. Copilot was Microsoft's AI platform designed to work across all of their products. It was built on top of ChatGPT and specifically tuned to work on Microsoft software. Microsoft integrated Copilot into almost all of their software, including Excel, Edge, Teams, and more. CEO Satya Nadella claimed that Copilot could analyze Excel data, build PowerPoint presentations from scratch, and write Outlook replies from user prompts. The company pitched Copilot almost like a superpowered Siri. Nadella even claimed that AI was as significant as the PC was in the 80s, the web in the 90s, mobile in the 2000s, and cloud in the 2010s. Copilot sounded like a powerful tool that would supercharge Microsoft products. But there was just one problem. It didn't work. User reports quickly surfaced, and they didn't look good for Microsoft. Surveys claimed that significant numbers of Copilot users distrusted the AI's answers and soon stopped using the tool. Microsoft's own numbers didn't look much better. Out of 450 million total paid Microsoft 365 seats, only 20 million signed up for Copilot. That means that only 4% of 365 customers felt like Copilot was worth paying for. Despite user complaints, Microsoft continued to push Copilot throughout their ecosystem. Microsoft also wanted to be a major player in the software engineering market and claimed GitHub Copilot was their key to winning the AI coding race. But while Microsoft continued integrating Copilot into everything, things kept getting worse. Microsoft loves to boast about how Copilot is revolutionizing operations for their enterprise clients. They said that 70% of users felt that Copilot boosted productivity, and that it allowed them to complete tasks 29% faster. Even more impressive is that Microsoft says 70% of Fortune 500 companies have integrated Copilot into their workflows. But something isn't adding up. Remember that only 4% of 365 customers pay for Copilot. Here's what Microsoft is hiding. It has to do with how they report Copilot usage. If a company with 100,000 employees buys Copilot for a 500-person test, Microsoft can count that entire company as a Copilot customer, even though 99% of the workforce doesn't have a license. Reports claim that only 6% of Fortune 500 companies have completed a global deployment of Copilot. This is after almost 3 years of Microsoft pushing Copilot onto customers non-stop. Microsoft should have a massive built-in distribution network and a huge customer base eager to sign up for Copilot. What went wrong? One major complaint was that Copilot constantly told users how to complete a task instead of actually completing the task itself. That completely defeats the point of an AI assistant. Imagine you hired a maid, and instead of cleaning your house, they came over and told you how to clean your house yourself. Now imagine paying that maid $30 every month. For many workers, that was exactly what Copilot felt like. Many people found that using foundational models like Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT was often easier than trying to convince Microsoft's clunky AI to do anything. But Microsoft kept pushing Copilot. They knew that at $30 per seat per month, if even 25% of 365 seats signed up for Copilot, they would earn billions of dollars in monthly revenue. And some customers did genuinely enjoy Copilot. Lloyd's Banking Group claims Microsoft Copilot saves staff 46 minutes every day. Reports say that Vodafone employees saved 3 hours per week on average. By this point, Copilot had become less of a single product and more of a label Microsoft attached to almost every AI initiative, including its most controversial Windows feature. In May 2024, Microsoft showcased Windows Recall. Recall is a feature that takes a screenshot of the user's PC every few seconds. The user can prompt Copilot about anything they were doing on their computer earlier, and Copilot can retrieve the page. Security experts warned about the safety of these screenshots, and many users felt like Microsoft was spying on their every move. Recall was widely hated by Microsoft users and gave Copilot an even worse reputation. Then, in mid-2025, news broke of a massive security weakness in Copilot. Experts had found that hackers could steal sensitive data by prompting Copilot, without phishing and with minimal user interaction. The exploit was called Echo Leak, and all it took was a single email. Even worse, users would have no way of knowing if their information had been stolen in this way. For massive enterprises with sensitive data, this was terrifying. Microsoft quickly patched the vulnerability and stated no customers were affected, but this was a terrible look for Copilot. When it became clear that enterprise adoption wasn't working, Microsoft found their next target. Microsoft's next move was to push Copilot onto nearly all of its consumer devices. They released a line of Copilot Plus PCs and included Copilot into nearly all Windows 11 devices. Microsoft also pushed Copilot into both family and personal 365 plans and charged users significantly more. Both plans increased by $30 per year because of Copilot. But users found one thing extremely frustrating. If you don't like Copilot, you can't remove it from your Windows machine or any of the Windows apps. This causes massive software bloat for a service that many users actively dislike. The situation is even worse for 365 customers. The Copilot plan is now the default, and the only way to move back to a cheaper plan is to cancel your current subscription. Microsoft's Copilot push has become absurd. It's gotten to the point where there are almost 80 different Microsoft products with Copilot in the name. Despite this, ChatGPT crushes Copilot in usage, and even DeepSeek beats it. Not only that, but Microsoft folded to customer pressure and recently announced that they will no longer automatically install Copilot apps on Windows 11 machines. As regular users rejected Copilot, Microsoft struggled to sell it to enterprise customers. Reports claim that AI sales quotas were slashed by 50%, and even then, less than a fifth of salespeople met those targets. But what about GitHub Copilot? Well, it looks like this might be one area where Microsoft is actually succeeding. Reports claim that GitHub Copilot holds about 25% of the AI coding market share, with Cursor and Anthropic close behind. With nearly $1 billion in annual revenue, coding might be the one area where Copilot makes sense. This should teach Microsoft a valuable lesson. Instead of trying to push Copilot across all devices and apps in a mediocre way, they should instead focus on training Copilot to do specific tasks at a very high level. We've already seen that companies are willing to spend on high-quality AI coding agents. Enterprise customers would be happy to pay for a version of Copilot that excelled in financial analysis, customer support, or other cost-heavy departments. This would be a much easier sell than a subpar AI assistant who can't find basic files on your PC. To many users, Copilot felt like a GPT wrapper that was somehow less useful than the original model. But at least Microsoft managed to ship its AI products. Apple spent years making promises, and somehow fell even further behind. To see why Apple's AI crisis just got worse, click the video on screen.